She tells him, ooh, love, no one's ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love. Nobody matters like you.
Hey guys, Mosa here, and today I'm bringing you my power rankings of Week 13. Now, without a further ado, let's get started. Coming in at number 32, we got the New York Jets. At 0-11, they just came off a loss to the Miami Dolphins, and they just lost to the Las Vegas Raiders in a close game, to be honest. I thought it was going to be a blowout, but they lost in a close game. But as of Week 13, of course, next week it's going to change maybe. But for right now, the Jets are still 32nd on my list. Up next at 31, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at 1-10. Coming off a loss to the Browns, they just came off a loss to the Vikings. Honestly, it's what I expected. I expected them to lose to the Vikings, and they did. Honestly, at 1-10, the Jets, the Bengals have all been eliminated from the playoff contention officially, but we might be seeing some other teams getting knocked out of the playoffs pretty soon. Now we got the Philadelphia Eagles at number 30, who dropped one spot. At 3-7, just came off a loss to the Seahawks, and just lost to the Green Bay Packers, which was expected, to be honest. Honestly, the Eagles are not making the playoffs, most likely, but they still have a chance, of course, as the Giants, the Washington football team, and the Cowboys all still have a chance to win this division. At number 29, who just jumped up one place, is the Cincinnati Bengals at 2-8-1. Just lost to the Giants and just lost to the Dolphins. Honestly, I think that the Bengals are out of the playoffs officially. Of course, they officially are out of the playoffs. What am I talking about? But I still think that the Bengals might get a few more wins, but I wouldn't be so surprised if they lost every single game that they have left. At number 28, dropping from 19, we got the Denver Broncos at 4-7, who just lost to the Saints last week, and this week against the Chiefs. I still do not know, but I do believe the Chiefs can win that game. But as far as I can see, the Chiefs are a better team than the Broncos, and the Broncos are not going to be a playoff team this year. 1000% for me. Coming in at number 27, we got the Washington football team, and they just came off a ginormous win of the Cowboys, but they're going against Pittsburgh tomorrow, and I don't think that they're going to win. I do not think they're going to win against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh definitely has their number this week. Coming in at number 26, we got the New York Giants at 4-7, and coming off a win over the Bengals, they just beat the Seahawks, which is honestly something that surprised me. I got surprised that the Giants were able to beat Seattle, but fair play. Fair play. But to be honest, I still think that the Giants, even though they win the division, they're going to be knocked out in the first round. Coming in at number 25, we got the Detroit Lions at 4-7, who just went up a spot. And they lose to the Texans, and they just beat the Chicago Bears. And to be honest, this is good for Detroit getting the win, but it's still, I don't think they're going to be making the playoffs. But this is going to be hurting their draft stock. But if they do make the playoffs, it's going to be a long time for them to actually make the playoffs. They most likely have to win their next 4 games in order to do so. They have to win out to do so. And that's possibly. But as far as I can see, good job defeating the Bears for the Detroit Lions. Coming in at number 24, we got the Bears. And the Bears at 5-6 lost to the Packers and just lost to the Lions. And to be honest, this is very traumatic for them, as they started off 5-1 to lose about, if I'm not mistaken, 6 games in a row. They are trash. Oh my god, this is gonna be a horrific season for Chicago. If they can come back and win their next 5 to 4 games, 4 games. If they can come back and win their next 4 games, it will be a fantastic season for Chicago, because they come back from losing 7 straight to going 9-7. Coming in at number 23, we got the Dallas Cowboys at 3-8. Just lost to the Washington football team. They're going to be playing on Tuesday against the Ravens, which is most likely going to be a loss. But you never know. Maybe they do something that makes them win the game, but as far as I can see, that is a loss for the Dallas Cowboys. Coming in at number 22, we got the Carolina Panthers at 4-8. Just lost to the Vikings and are on their bye week. Honestly, this is going to be a get ready for next week for the Carolina Panthers, but as far as I can see, the Panthers have to improve, and their quarterback situation is a lost season. I suggest tanking. At least you get 4 wins. Keep it at 4 wins. I think the Panthers will get a top 5 draft pick. Coming in at number 21, we got the Ravens at 6-5. Just lost to the Steelers. Impressive loss. Why do I say that? Because the defense of the Steelers is trash. And to be honest, they won more of it because of their offense rather than their defense. Because they even allowed Trace McSorley, a third-string quarterback, score on them. I mean, when you are allowing a third stringer to score on you, I think that just shows that your defense is trash. They were starting RG3, a guy who's injury prone, and to be honest, is the backup to Lamar Jackson. The only reason why he started is because Lamar got COVID. Then you going up against the Cowboys. Honestly, I think you'll win that, but you never know. The Dallas Cowboys are basically a team that you think could lose, but you might have to say nah to them losing, because they could lose, they could win. They have impressed sometimes this season. Coming in at number 20, we got the Los Angeles Chargers at 3-8, and just coming off a loss of the Bills, they lose in horrific fashion and get eliminated from the playoffs after their loss to the Patriots. To be honest, they weren't good. They weren't good because the team around Justin Herbert isn't good. Herbert is a good quarterback in a horrible team. And to be honest, I think that the Los Angeles Chargers should, and I say should, tank and get protection for Justin Herbert. Because to be honest, I don't want Herbert to get crushed behind that offensive line every single Sunday. Coming in at number 19, we got the Houston Texans at 4-7. They just beat the Lions on Thanksgiving, but then lost the Colts in horrific fashion. To be honest, I think that this is the end of course, the Bill O'Brien Houston Texans. Bill O'Brien is not here and to ruin you anymore, so prepare for the next draft, because that's the draft that in the later rounds you're going to have to build a team, because Bill O'Brien decided to trade 2 first-round picks away for Tunsil and a receiver. That's it. But as far as I can see, the Texans are predictably out of the playoffs. Coming in at number 18, we got the Los Angeles Rams at 7-4. Just lost to the 49ers, but then beat the Arizona Cardinals. This league don't make sense. Trash teams beat good teams, and then good teams that lose to trash teams then beat very good teams. That is beyond me. And to be honest, that's how football works. It's a team game, and if the team isn't there on that day, they're going to lose. And if they're there on the day that you need to play some good football, and they play some good football, they're definitely going to win. But I still can't believe that they lost to the 49ers and then beat the Cardinals the next week in Arizona. I can't believe this. But as far as I can see, the Rams are in a good position. Coming in at number 17, we got the Indianapolis Colts at 7-4. Just lost to the Tennessee Titans, but beat the Houston Texans. They are one of the teams that are still in playoff contention and battling for the division title with Tennessee. But I'm thinking that Tennessee's going to have a bit of a problem since they lost to Cleveland. And to be honest, I think the Colts are a very good team, but I think they need something else to win a championship. I think that Phillip Rivers was not enough. Coming in at number 16, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at 6-5, just lost in horrific fashion to the Atlanta Falcons and nearly lost to the New York Jets this week. Honestly, this is hilarious for the Las Vegas Raiders, and to be honest, the Raiders need to do something to stop themselves from turning their momentum from positive to negative. And to be honest, that's what they need to work on. Their momentum. They have to keep on winning. If they want to make the playoffs, they gotta keep on winning. I already think that Kansas City's in the playoffs after winning 10 games. Those guys are in. And if they lost to the Broncos, well, I don't know. But as far as I can see, Kansas City wins the division, no doubt in my mind. But if the Raiders want the wild card, they need to start winning and getting more momentum. Coming in at number 15, we got the Buccaneers. And at 7-5, they lost to the Chiefs in a close game. They're on their bye. Tom Brady, Gronkowski, Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin, all these other guys, Ron Jones, everyone has to get ready for Week 14, because that is the week that they are going to start winning again. Maybe. I don't know, because this team has their momentum up, down, up, down, up, down during the entirety of these few weeks. Coming in at number 14, we got the Atlanta Falcons at 4-7, coming up after a ginormous win over the Raiders, 43-6. They go and lose to the Saints, which was expected. Honestly, the Falcons are just ruining their tank, because that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing, and honestly, that's what they need to do. Coming in at number 13, we got the San Francisco 49ers at 5-6. Just beat the Rams, and then they're going to go up against the Bills tomorrow. And to be honest, I think that this game against the 49ers, the Bills will most likely win. But don't give up on San Francisco, as they did just beat the LA Rams, which are a decent football team right now. I know Buffalo is a better team than LA, but I still think that Buffalo will struggle against the 49ers, but still end up winning. Coming in at number 12, we got the Miami Dolphins at 7-4, just beat the Jets and just beat the Bengals. Honestly, this team, they're going to be a team that's going into the playoffs as the wild card. I don't think that they can rival the Bills. Even though they're a game behind the Bills, I still think that they can't rival them, as they've been recently on a downfall. Even though they just beat the Jets, like, beating the Jets is basically worth nothing. But hopefully the Dolphins can keep on winning and winning and winning, so they can be a top team in the AFC. Coming in at number 11, we got the Arizona Cardinals at 6-5. Just lost to the Patriots last week. And then they lost to the Rams, and the Rams get an advantage over the Cardinals. And now we're going to see a really tough week between Seattle and LA for the division title. It's mostly going to be between them. But as far as I can see, Arizona did well, but not good enough to take the win over Los Angeles. Coming in at number 10, we got the Minnesota Vikings at 5-6. Just beat the Panthers last week, and then just beat the Jaguars this week. To be honest, the Vikings are a team that you should actually worry about, because they could come back and take a very big route to the playoffs. But right now, they are not considered a playoff team, but they could be. I think that the Minnesota Vikings is a sleeper team this year. Coming in at number 9, we got the Cleveland Browns at 8-3, even though they're technically 9-3. After defeating the Jaguars last week and defeating the Titans this week, the Cleveland Browns have officially clinched a basically winning season. For the first time since 2010, the 2010 season, them having 10 wins, 10-6 going in that season, and they didn't make the playoffs. But this Cleveland Browns team has the potential to rival Pittsburgh. But that's only if Pittsburgh goes on a downfall because of their defense, which has yet to happen, even though their defense isn't as good. But the Browns are still in the playoff hunt, and be careful because they could win the division at one point if the Steelers go on a downfall. Coming in at number 8, we got the Buffalo Bills at 8-3, and they just beat the Chargers last week, and they're going to beat the 49ers. I think that this game against the 49ers is a tough game, but I think they can pull out a win. And to be honest, I think Buffalo could win the division, but they have to watch out for definitely the Miami Dolphins. Coming in at number 7, we got the Green Bay Packers at 8-3. They just beat the Bears last week, and they beat the Eagles this week. And to be honest, this game was very good on the side of the Packers. And to be honest, I'm seeing the Packers as the division champions no matter what. But hey, maybe we get to see one of the teams, whether it's Chicago or Minnesota, come in and take the division crown from Green Bay. But I'm seeing Green Bay as the most likely champion of that division. Coming in at number 6, we got the Seattle Seahawks at 8-3. They just defeated the Eagles last week, but lost the Giants this week. Oh my God, that week 14 power rankings is going to be horrific for Seattle. They just lost to the leading division team in the NFC East. And to be honest, that team is a 4-7 team, now 5-7. I think that this is horrific for Seattle, but I think we can come back and win the next game against the Jets. It's much easier. I did say that the Giants could do something, but hey, you never know what happens in this league. And to be honest, the Giants showed it. Even though we had a 5-point lead to start, they ended up winning the game. Coming in at number 5, we got the New England Patriots. And honestly, at 5-6, why do I have it at number 5? Because they've been having a stretch of wins which has impressed me. And after beating the Cardinals and then destroying the LA Chargers, I definitely think that the Patriots are a team to compete against, but they're not yet ready for coming back as a top team. Maybe they can make the playoffs, but it's not going to be as a wild card team. But don't count out the New England Patriots yet. You got to see them until the end. Coming in at number 4, we got the Tennessee Titans at 8-3, and beating the Colts, then losing to the Browns. It's going to be a bit troubling. But for now, Tennessee is a very good football team that will most likely win the division this year. I still don't know due to the fact that the Colts are a very good team as well. It's going to be in between them, but Tennessee might get the division win here, while the Indianapolis Colts might make the playoffs as a wild card team. I think that this team, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Ryan Tannehill, all these guys on offense will take this team back to the playoffs. Now, with number 3, we got the New Orleans Saints at 9-2, beating the Broncos and then beating the Falcons. Now, they beat the Broncos easily because they didn't have a quarterback. But I'm going to just say this. The Saints were going to beat the Broncos regardless of whether they played Drew Lock. I think that they could have put the best quarterback in NFL history on their team playing for them, and honestly it would still be a loss to the Saints, because to be honest, the Saints are a very good franchise, and I think they might make the Super Bowl this year. And at number 2, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at 10-1, and after beating the Bucks, they then decided that they might beat the Broncos, but maybe the game is still going on at the time of this recording, but you never know. You could actually have Kansas City lose to Denver, but I think that they will come back and pull out a win over the Broncos. Coming in at number 1, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, undefeated 11-0, and honestly, their win over the Ravens, not that good, but it's still a win. But their game against the Washington football team will be struggling because of their defense. And to be honest, I think that it will struggle, but they'll end up getting the win anyways. Now that was it for this video. Now I know this video came out a bit late. I'm recording this on Sunday, but basically I had the power rankings made for me to record all the way back on Thursday after the Ravens versus Steelers game. So all this info was coming from that day, but the recording is happening right before the Broncos take on the Kansas City Chiefs. And to be honest, I have had a bit of problems recording. Also, I've had a bit of a problem uploading videos to several of my channels, and honestly I gotta get my schedule right so I can get videos out for you guys. Now, like this video if you liked it, subscribe and hit the notification if you want more videos, and I'll see you guys next time.